Sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Welcome, everyone, to another installment of Planet Comicon PCKC TV. This is our Sunday at 2, which is the Cosplay Creator Show, brought to you by U.S. Toy, Costume, and Magic Shop. We've got lots of great products out here at U.S. Toy to help your cosplay, so I hope you come see us. We are open every day, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., giving us lots of time to sanitize and prepare for your most safe shopping experience. Hey, we want to also thank our other sponsors for helping us host, make the show happen. We've got a great list there. And then today, we've got some really special things going on. As you can see, they've given me a brand new secret lair. So in the next few weeks, you'll see this area change up a little bit. It's been one of our makeup rooms, and I'm still not pretty even with all this extra makeup. But speaking of getting cosplay ready, I want you to get excited for this week's challenge is Cos Pets and Cospanions with Planet Comicon's online cosplay challenge through the Facebook page. It's time to get your friends together, be they furry, feathered, fin, scaled, or shelled. Showcase Fido's Inner Wolverine, Fluffy's Secret Supergirl, or Sheldon's Hidden Donatello. Snap a pic and post it as a response to the post, and post it to Twitter with the Instagram with the hashtag PCKC or Planet Comicon. We're going to be talking more about prizes that you can start winning with these contests. We're going to be doing this one for 2 weeks to prepare, and we're going to help you with shopping a little bit here at US Toy. If you need product to prepare your furry friend, your shelled friend, your scaled friend, come on by, pick it up, and we've got a special code. John, can you help us out with that code there? It is PCC Live 20, and we'll give you a 20% discount on the supplies that you get from US Toy here in the store. So we got lots of great things going on, but I'm really excited about this week's guests. It's Crazy Costumes by Bruce Holt. And Bruce has made all those costumes right there, all those pieces. They're all EVA foam. And man, just take a look at the detail work on the painting, on the shading. He's going to be teaching us some of those things and much more. Bruce, my friend, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. How are you today?
Doing all right. You're over, what part of the country are you in?
Actually, I'm in southern Missouri.
Southern Missouri.
Yes.
How's quarantine going there for you?
Actually, it's going well. It's given me time to work on my costumes, that's for sure. I've been off since March 20th. But it's slowed in this area, so we're good.
Well, now's a perfect time for cosplayers if they need to commission a piece from you to get in contact with you. And we're going to see some of the things that you build, because you've got some amazing work, my friend. You're pretty prolific. And we can see some of those things in the background. Do you want to give us a quick tour right there?
Well, actually, I'll see if I can get out of the way. These are several of the costumes that I've made over the last, I'd say it's been the last 3 years that I've created these that you've seen in the background. I didn't always work with EVA, but since I've started with EVA, it's just set my world on fire. So we have and we'll probably bring up some other shots that are closer
Sure.
of these as we go along.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, because you do get out and you do teach panels out at different conventions.
I do. I like to do panels and build shops. I have my forged and foam workshops that I do at several conventions. It allows the novice to the experienced creator to come in and learn more about how to manipulate the EVA, how to paint, how to texture the whole bit, and very reasonable in those classes that I offer. It's one of the things I enjoy doing. Actually, I'm not really actually a cosplayer per se, even though I do cosplay, but it's not. I'm more like to teach and to create costumes for other people. I like to see the excitement on their faces, whether you're 12 or 75.
Sure. Well, we've seen you in your own costume, so we know you are a cosplayer. But you like to focus on doing commissions for folks.
I do. Commissions are actually my favorite, because it's really neat to create a costume and the people see it for the first time, and then they just can't wait to get out there and show it. Not everybody has the opportunity to have a custom-made costume. So one of the things that I do offer making for other people is I'll work within any budget. If you want a Megatron, you're probably talking some pretty expensive stuff. But the Wonder Woman, stuff like that, is fairly reasonable.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we've already got some responses already here in Facebook. People are ready for you. You've got Jack Fuller. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Jack Fuller is saying, am I in the right place to watch Bruce Holt build? Man, yes, we are going to get to that here in just a little bit. And then John Boone, Amanda Kyle, Gina Leslie's watching us. Doug McDaniel is with us. He was in the Starship Troopers workshop.
Oh, good.
What is that? You got a bunch of nerds watching Starship Troopers?
Actually, Starship Troopers has a big following. At one of the conventions we were at, there was Casper Van Dien, and he was the inspiration for really doing the Starship Troopers build. And I think we built 22 costumes, is what it was, over the course of 3 days, and then had a big photo shoot with Casper afterwards. And let me step away for just a second. I'll be right back.
The man disappears. Oh, he's grabbing something.
This is the vest that we made for Starship Troopers.
You made that in a weekend?
Yeah.
Teaching others to make it at the same time.
Right. And this one actually, Casper, in the photo shoot, if I can find this is the green one. I'm sorry. The yellow one was one that Casper actually wore and signed in our photo shoot.
Well, okay. Tell me how you make that happen.
Well, it's actually months of preparing for these things. I don't just go and throw a bunch of EVA out there and say, okay, we're going to build costumes. If we're going to build something elaborate, then I prepare by making all the cuts prior to the convention. I will teach them how to cut and how to form and grind this stuff, but after each one gets a little bit of time with a hands-on, then I give them a kit, and the kit has all the parts to make it as if they were pre-cut, and we assemble them, we plasti dip them, we paint them, do the weathering, the whole bit. So
that's just fantastic.
Thank you.
How much does it cost to be a part of one of those?
Normally, my cosplay builds are for the conventions is usually around $50 to $80 per person, and you walk away with something. I think the Starship Troopers was $50, and you walked away with a functioning vest, completely finished.
Nice. Well, Bruce, we're going to talk a little bit more when we get ready to host some master classes here in the shop again. and see if we can bring you on up. That is just absolutely fantastic. Now, you've got a number of techniques that you're going to be showing us today. What do you have in store for us? Just give us a little signposting about what we're going to be talking about, and then we'll start transitioning into what's going on.
Okay, well, I'm going to show some simple texturing techniques. I'm going to show how to put in a texture that actually is transferable. I don't know if you can zoom in on that, but this gives you almost a hammered metal texture, and I'm going to show you how to do that with EVA foam. And then I'm also going to take you through the painting, which is it's going to blow your mind how simple it is.
Okay.
So.
Excellent. Well, I am the terror that gargles in the night. I'm the gargoyle.
Bean, where'd you go?
Hey, yeah, Jelly Bean had to go. I'm here as the gargoyle. But no, actually, I just wanted to highlight one of the products we just got in the store. This is Stick Effects. This is a piece of silicone that just peels right off, peels right back on, no extra adhesives. All you have to do is clean your face. They got little alcohol wipes with you, but it stays on all day, and take it on, put it back on. It's amazing. These masks are just absolutely terrific. You can pick them up here in the store. To go along with the cosplay contest this week, come check out the Stick Effects masks. They retail for $24.99 here in the shop, but they're pretty terrific. So thank you to US Toy for letting us talk about those. Let's start moving into what you're going to be teaching us today.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do a switch on the camera.
Okay. I will sit here. The gargoyle will come back while you're switching cameras, and he'll stick to my glasses, not as well. Okay. So it's pretty neat being able to do these multi-camera kind of outfits there. Now, you've got a Twitch stream that you put out there, right?
I do. It's on twitch.tv. I have my board Y2K01, and I do Twitch streams. I'm setting them up to stream on. Hold on a second.
Thursdays and Saturdays.
Thursdays and Saturdays at 4 p.m. And
nice. So
right now is with when I'm still quarantined from work, we haven't opened back up. I'm doing them more often, but once I get back to work, we'll probably adjust the time to 5 o'clock on Thursdays. But normally it's going to be 4 p.m. both days until that time.
Nice.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and show you how to come up. Let me see if I can zoom in on which camera that is. Oh, here we go. To do this texture effect in foam.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to learn the texture effect there.
Yeah, and this is super simple. What you need is a decent heat gun. Quality depends on what you can afford. You don't have to spend a lot of money, but get you a decent heat gun that's reliable. Start out with the cheaper one if you need to, but you'll need that. You'll need EVA foam, and a couple of the people that I use for my EVA foam. One is SKS Props, Steven. And he has a wonderful foam it's gray in color. It's a dense foam, really manipulates well. It takes texture well and everything. And I also use TNT Cosplay's foam, and they have some high density foam that's up into the 50s, and I like that for forming back parts of a foam of a costume that needs to be more rigid. I use the 50. But anyway, I've cut a couple squares here in a circle also, so I can show you how I made that dome.
Okay.
And so, and this is the other thing that you need. That's it. Reynolds wrap or any other kind of your Reynolds wrap, just the tinfoil type stuff. So first off, what you want to do is you want to take.
Okay, Bruce, real quick. There's 3
You want
things
to
that
take
we
a
need.
pretty good section of it, and then just crumple it up right into a ball, and don't scrunch down too hard, because what you want on that is you want a lot of ridges. Okay. And then you take, and it's very simple. You heat up your costume piece or whatever. Normally, I'll build the whole costume before I texture it. I won't texture it before. And the reason why is because this is an open cell foam. And once you heat it up, it closes those cells. And that's the best time to manipulate it in. But if you reheat it, everything's going to go flat. All right. So make sure your costume's together first, and then you go in and texture it afterwards. Unless you're not going to be reheating it, then you can texture your parts. But, and I hope you can see this okay. Let me know if I get out of frame. But I'm going to heat this up. It's going to take a minute. And if you noticed, I took my mat off of, I took the mat off of here because I don't want to burn it. And that's why I have this one. I also have, and let me move it up into frame, a holder.
We're great right there.
Okay. That holder is for my heat gun.
Okay.
Right. And I used it. Actually, it's an exhaust tip. And I welded a piece to it so I can drop my heat gun into it. That way I'm not burning my cords like I have in the past and stuff like that. But make sure you have a surface that you're not going to damage. And that's why I have this 3/4 inch plywood. All right.
Sure.
Then you got to heat it pretty good. All right. So
Of course, the heat guns make a god awful noise, so we're just going to deal with that. How hot do we need to get the foam?
Actually, let me take it over here and heat it, and then I'll bring it back. It might not be as loud.
So, hey, while he's doing that, John, let's talk about the cosplay contest and what we've got going on. So we're going to be talking about some of the specifics with the cosplay challenge, the cos pets and the cospanions. I'll put my helmet back on. So essentially what we want you to do, there's a post up on Facebook. We want you to reply with pictures of your pets in costume. And we want you to hashtag them with hashtag Planet Comicon or hashtag PCKC. That way we know that you're talking about us. You can put them up on Instagram and Twitter as well with those same hashtags, and it'll get back to us. We're going to give you 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks on June 7th, we're going to be having our cosplay guests at that time. Go ahead and give us a first, second, and third place. We have prizes for each of those. For third place, we've got Jack Skellington cookie jar. We've got a second place Marvel Black Panther necklace. And in first place, we've got an Indiana Jones fertility statue. We're going to talk about more of those later. We're watching Bruce now. And so Bruce has heated up the foam and then rolling the aluminum foil on there.
Yeah, and then I just press it in while it's hot. All right. And I just roll it completely. So now you can see, let me get a shot of that. And see that texture that it's implanted in there?
Yeah, that just kind of popped right away, didn't it?
Yeah. And
you didn't have to get that foam very hot at all, did you?
No, you got to watch EVA foam because it will melt. The longer you have the heat gun on it. When I first started out, of course, I was using floor mats, and it takes a lot to heat up a floor mat. Sure. And trying to get it shaped, so I thought, well, I need to just put a whole bunch of heat to it. Well, at one point, it will melt and burn. So it's one of those things that you really need to take precautions. But no, especially with like the SKS Props foam is it heats up really, really well and takes on this texture so easy. But if you think about it, anything that you have with a design or anything, you can transfer to foam. You know, I've got grids that I like to use like this, and I'll heat my foam up, and then I'll just lay that on there, and I'll take and this is a roller for my cricket, and I'll just roll it across there, and it'll give me that pattern, or honeycomb, or if it's something with a texture on it, you can transfer it right to foam. So, and then to make this dome right here, it's one thing that I do before. I'm not going to hit the heat gun again, but let's just magic a TV, say that this was a flat piece right here. I've got different, now this is actually a table leg, so use what's around you, but I like this. It's good and round and everything. And once you heat this up, you can manipulate it to where it's got the dome shape. And then the trick of doing this, because once you heat this up, there isn't going to be any texture. So I've actually got, and this is just a salsa bowl. Don't tell my wife. But I've got this salsa bowl, and I've done the same thing with my foam. And I'll take and I'll put my tin foil, and then I'll put this down inside this salsa bowl, and I'll take this flat piece, heat it up, and I'll drive it down into the foam with this ball. You just think about it, it's like crushing up herbs or whatever. And you can actually take it this way and work it around, and once it comes out, it'll be your dome shape and have that texture in it.
Fantastic.
So it's simple.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you use those domes on?
Oh, actually, I've used those in the center of a shield before. And it's like the dome part of the center of a shield, and I'll put some design around it and stuff like that, and it looks just like the hammered out part of the center of a shield.
Okay, nice. I was going to say there's probably a couple of Daleks running around with those kind of things on them, and I'm sure some Thor costumes.
Yeah.
So that's a fantastic technique. Hey, can you talk to us about some of these? Yeah, like there's a beautiful shot of that Thor costume that you created.
Actually, that one's Odin. When I do cosplay, being my age, I'm up there, and so I play the old guy. So that's the Odin costume that I created. But Thor's is very similar to that. It's in the background there. Yeah, there it is. And Scott Pope actually wore that at Planet Comicon 2018 in Kansas City, next to me. I was in my Thor, in my Odin. He was in Thor. So
nice. There's a couple other, like there's a Wonder Woman, and was that Jor-El that I saw in the back?
Yes, Jor-El is right there in the back. Again, I played the old guys, so and that was one of my favorite builds right there. That has multi layers just on the S, but
wow.
And then the Wonder Woman costume, actually, also in 2018, Kieran Nicole, she actually wore that, and I don't know if we can get a shot of that. Maybe I can get it into frame. Here, let me tilt this a little bit. That's Kira in that Wonder Woman costume.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Kira's a lot of fun.
Oh, Kira is a blast. She's quite comical and quick-witted. You can't get anybody that's really any faster at wit than she is.
Right.
So, but now that I've got that, let me remove this and get down to my paint surface.
So you're going to start talking about some airbrush, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, can I take a quick second here and do another pitch from US Toy? You sent us a video. That costume there in the middle, we didn't get a chance to talk about, with the big old skulls. What character is that? That's the character you made?
Yes, actually his name is Morphosis. and it's a mashup that I did between a Lich King and a demon from Warcraft. And it's just one of those things. I love to do mashups. I don't want to become what I call a street sign at a convention, a costume you see all the time. So I do mashups, and I like people saying, "What's that from? Who's it from?" And it's funny, the people that come up to you and try to guess what it's from. But that's an enjoyable part. But yeah, that's totally airbrushed. And the makeup is also airbrushed on.
Yeah, John, you got a video of that, huh? So what I'll say, very similar to what we've got going on in this video. It's neat. Sorry, John. So, yeah, let's show the video, and then I'll talk about these makeup. So, Bruce, who is that applying makeup there?
Actually, his name's Jason Brookshire. He was my airbrush teacher, and he's a whiz with an airbrush, and he taught me a lot. But that's Jason Brookshire out of Joplin, Missouri, that is applying my makeup.
Okay, and that's right before that shoot there at Planet Comicon.
Yes, it was.
But I wanted to say, if folks at home want to get a look similar to that, they should take a look at the Pro Air zombie effects. There's an entire set of these where they sell multiple colors within a theme of that. Yeah, it really is amazing makeup, and the airbrush artist is very talented. We do sell full setups here at US Toy Magic and Costume Shop for Pro Air. So if you need a compressor, if you need a brush, if you need paint, we've got you set up. If you don't like zombies, that's all right, because we also have unicorn colors. We've got actually a whole variety of these kits. We've got a whole selection of colors if you want to buy individually, and a couple of different makeups. So definitely check out Pro Air, and they've got a number of tutorials going on right now as well. We've been trying to rebroadcast a number of those around the noon time. Okay, so Bruce, you've got some airbrushing that you want to show us.
I do. I actually set up for this broadcast. Let's again. I do mashups of my own, but this is a Plague Doctor mask, and normally a Plague Doctor mask is just black. But if you can see, I've done the texture effect to this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my airbrushes and show how this texture really pops out. Okay. So
I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Now these aren't actually makeup airbrush airbrush paints, but they are Createx paints, which is water-based. And one of the reasons why I love water-based paints is because they're very forgiving. You mess up, you can just wipe it off. But I'm gonna mask up here real quick, protect my lungs a little bit. So I don't know how well you'll hear me in the mask, but I'm gonna show you the start to texturing and weathering this.
You take safety first.
Right.
Absolutely. And yeah, for foam-based things, definitely Createx or a water-based paint is going to be great. If you're looking for an alcohol-based makeup that's not going to run on you when you're sweating in costume, Pro Air is the way to go. Used by haunters and cosplayers across the world.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, absolutely just fine.
Okay. I've pre-mixed a little bit of airbrush paint. And what I start with when I'm doing the texturing is it's a dirt track brown and with some black in it. This is going to probably translate mostly as black, but it's kind of a dirty black. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to cover all the textured areas with black. All right. Okay. And it's not going to look like much because I'm just covering this up. So
just the first coat. This kind of gives an extra base layer. And you do it in black because eventually that's what's going to make a number of the other layers really pop.
Right.
That's as much as I understand airbrush effects. Is you start dark and start getting lighter and lighter. Now, like I said, I'm not a great big artist. Is that a gravity feed that you've got going on with your brush?
Yeah, it is.
Uh-huh.
It's not a siphon feed. I like the gravity feeds. You use less paint in the gravity feeds.
Uh-huh.
And I have Iwata Eclipse airbrushes, which I've used several different types. I don't know if do you have airbrushes there at your shop?
We certainly do. We've got the Pro Air, which I think is an Iwata that's been branded with Pro Air stuff, but I'd have to double check to make sure. But definitely Pro Air brand. Yeah, another comic shop. Definitely, Bruce's work is amazing. It's a must see. You are definitely one of those treasures that people just don't know about yet, and that's their shame. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what you do. Now, are you giving a pretty thick coating? Kind of looks a little just kind of glaze over on that.
It's really not that thick. That's one of the neat things about your water-based paints is because they dry really quick, but I'm just getting a coverage area.
Okay.
And like I said, I've just hit it quick. Of course, when you pull it back from the camera, it looks like it's totally covered, but when I bring it up, you can see it's not really.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I need to dry this out a little bit, and I've just got, I use a regular blow dryer.
Blow dryer. Nice.
Again, don't tell my wife. But the one thing about these, especially when you're working on paints or anything like this, you don't want to kill the texture, plus you don't want to burn your pieces. So put this on a cool setting, on the coolest setting you have, because all you need is air. That's it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow.
Okay. So, Doug McDaniel's already asking how much does a Plague Doctor mask commission cost? So.
Actually, I'm planning on doing a Plague Doctor at one of the conventions because this is a really quick mask to make. I have patterns for it. And so at a convention, you're talking $35 to $50 for the class. You'll go away with the Plague Doctor complete with a backer that goes inside, straps that hold it on. But if I commissioned a Plague Doctor mask, I'm going to take some time on it. It's probably going to cost about $60.
Nice.
Okay, now that it's dried down a little bit, and I left this side blank so you can see what I started with.
Sure, thank you for that.
Right. And then this side I put my base color on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, again, this is the water-based paints. So with a little bit of alcohol, just rubbing alcohol, I'm going to lightly put a little bit of alcohol in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove just the top amount. Nope. Let me set this down. Now I don't know if you guys can see it there on camera.
Yeah, we can see the texture starting to pop out. Just, it's almost like one of those magic wands where you put it over the book and the color starts popping. And man, that certainly makes a difference. That's amazing.
And see, that's just a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a rag. And lightly touching it so it doesn't take it out of the low spots.
Uh-huh. Oh my gosh.
Now you can see what it started with,
Uh-huh.
what it went to.
That's incredible. So you take aluminum foil and you texturize it, then you spray over it with an airbrush, and then take the top layer of paint off. So
Right.
the paint just stays in the cracks, and that's what gives you the technique.
Right.
That is absolutely fantastic.
And then there's one other trick.
Uh-huh.
Rub and buff is
what is it? Grub
rub,
and buff?
rub and buff.
Rub and buff. Okay.
Okay. And that this is right here is a cosplayer's dream, especially if they're building costumes, because you get that metallic, shiny look, and it actually buffs out just like it says, rub and buff. I can take this mask off now.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I do is I'll just take a little bit out on my surface, and then I'm going to dry brush this. Is what I'm going to do.
Okay. We learned a little bit of that last week from Valkyrie Britannia.
Yeah.
But let's we're always up for more. So put it out on your palette right there.
Right, and then take a brush and make sure you blot it around, because you don't want a lot on your brush.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this across this.
That's just fantastic. Hey, Jack Fuller asked the question, could you use a brush to apply the black?
Yes, you can. And especially, that's one thing about Createx. Another thing about Createx paints that I really like is because you can use a brush to apply it.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need to be an airbrush artist. I can't say I'm an airbrush artist. I'm still in the novice stages. I think I'm getting better. But that's where I was at beforehand was, let me get a rag that doesn't have alcohol on it. Now, after you've got that on there, you can actually, like it says in the name, rub and buff, and you see how that's really taken on a metallic finish.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And does that come in a couple of different colors?
Yeah, actually, it comes from black, old gold, bright gold, silver. I've got some silver here, and that's another thing I would do. I like to use a couple different. Well, I got to open this when it's new. And especially when you're doing textures and a different, to make it really look metallic, you want to use a couple different colors on it of the rub and buff, but go like a lighter coat over it.
Nice. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing what the buff looks like here. Oh, Lordy. That aged it pretty quickly.
You see how?
Yeah, that's a real neat effect.
Now, one of the last things I'll do with this when I'm doing my shadowing and getting that full weathered look on here is I'm going to go back to my black. All right, and I'm going to start to outline my areas. Okay, so, and I'm going to hit all of my edges.
Uh-huh.
And then now that I've got this around the outside, I'm going to go ahead and put a second dark one so I can drop it in. The one good thing now that the rub and buff is on there, you're not going to take it off. So it's just going to lay into those lower areas. But again, like I did, but I'm going to do some heavier spots and really accentuate some of the areas that are deepest.
Okay, so just so I've got it clear, you're doing another layer of airbrush, and then you're going to take it off again with the alcohol wipe.
Right. And so again, you see that's blotted, but again, I need to do around my edges and everything. I need to do 2 coats because I want to leave that look of a dirty edge. Now that doesn't look like much because it looks just like it's all blotted.
Sure, but you're going to wipe that magic rag and it's going to look completely different.
Yeah. That's like I say, I love this because you can paint a piece in a matter of minutes this way. I did at the last convention we did some Mandalorian shields or wall hangings. I think we have a picture of that. And I taught this, and my students were amazed at how quickly they can make that Mandalorian shield. And the paint you see in that is absolutely the same kind of texture that I'm performing here. And you see the different colors and layers in there? Because we like to drop between the golds and the tans and the blacks. And that one I outlined in some red, as you can see. And then I did some grunge work down in the deepest part, which I'm going to show you a little bit of that too on this one. But anyway, so now that this is dried a little bit, again, the lightest touch, and we're not going to remove everything around these edges. We just want to feather them back. And leave that in those deep areas.
Just absolutely amazing, Bruce.
Thank you. And then, of course, since your rub and buff is under there, just go ahead with your dry rag and buff it back up to a metallic finish. And so now you can see we started with this. And we've gone to where we have that finish.
Nice.
Now, I mentioned about the grunge work.
Here, before we get into the grunge work, John Boone's got a great question because it's going to allow me to talk about a product here at US Toy. But back to the foam itself, John's still learning about foam building, and he hears about Warbler all the time. Is that the same thing as EVA foam?
Okay, well, Warbler is not. Warbler is more of a hardened surface.
It's a thermoplastic.
It's a thermoplastic, yes, and it is absolutely great for making details. And I've used Warbler, but you know, if you're using Warbler on a full costume, you might create pinch points and stuff. So if you use a combination of the thermoplastics or Warbler and the EVA foam, you can put foam in areas that contact your skin, joints, stuff like that. Put the Warbler over it, and it sticks to itself. It sticks to other surfaces. It heat manipulates wonderfully. So
absolutely. And if you need war blood, or actually a very similar thermoplastic, we do sell it here at US Toy Magic and Costume Shop. Imagine that. We got to talk about these things. So definitely come see us, and we can lead you through some of the things. We've got sheets of thermoplastic here in the store. But yeah, it's quite a bit different than the EVA foam. And even the high density foam is a little bit different than EVA foam. So it's just absolutely fantastic. Great question, John. Thank you very kindly. All right, you were talking about beating up some foam there, Bruce.
okay, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do kind of a grunge look on this. Okay, and this is what I like to finish off my costumes with. And I've got a couple of little templates. It looks like it's been shot with a shotgun, but it hasn't. This is actually a template that I ordered offline.
Uh-huh.
And this one I got at the local craft shop, and it's just a crackle look.
Sure.
And you can use these over and over and over again. And since they are plastic, you can clean them off if you want to, but I don't clean them off because actually it gives a little more character once they get a little caked up.
Sure.
But like on the eyebrows of this is where I'm going to do the grunge look, and I'm going to start with the crackle. And it doesn't matter where it goes, just try to get that frame here. Kind of working upside down, but that's all right. So just shoot your airbrush across it.
Nice.
All right. And then I'm going to take my grunge splatter, and I want to kind of outline it in the grunge.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting more on the template itself than I am the piece. Because I just want this to transfer over. I don't want it to totally cover.
Bruce, that is just absolutely beautiful.
So, like I say, especially with one of these plague doctor masks, you can really make something that nobody's really seen before. And it paints up. In the time that we've done this, I've done a lot more talking than working. But in the time that we've done this, I can have this completely finished painted, ready to actually seal out and ship off.
Nice.
So, but again, there's what we started with, and there's the second thing that we did with the color, and then the finish.
That is absolutely just tremendous. You've shown us some great things today. You've shown us the technique of putting the aluminum foil for texture into the foam. You've shown us the basic use of airbrush to get some of those cracks, and with the rub and buff paint, how to get that metallic, and then finally using the templates there to give us more look and more pop into those eyebrows. That's absolutely fantastic. Bruce, thank you so much for your time. Hey, can you switch cameras and give us another look at your face?
Okay.
Yeah. I also want to steal a look at a couple of those costumes there in the background again. So
there we go.
There you go. You've got so much going on. Folks can check you out on Twitch on is it Thursdays and Saturdays 4 p.m. at
yes.
twitch.tv/BorgY2K01. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
If you go to that channel, you can go to it right now. Find BorgY2K01 on twitch.tv. And if you're interested, just give me a like and a follow. And when I go online, it's going to notify you that I'm online. So, especially now that I'm still under quarantine, or our company is, I'm doing a lot more streaming. The one costume in the background, let me see if you can see it. This one here is what I'm building on Twitch.tv right
Yeah,
now.
what is that?
That is
What
actually,
name?
it's called a Lukruk. And the costume itself, it wasn't a costume. It's not in any game or anything. This was created by Ben Ernst, and
That'd be insane.
it's going to be a huge costume, and future conventions, hopefully soon. But we want to be safe. I'm sure I'm still going to be working on this. This is going to probably take another 4 months to complete. It's not an overnight or one day project. It's going to be over 7 foot tall. It has a 6 foot tail. It will be a live tail. It'll actually wag and
wait. A live tail. What does that entail?
Actually, you have to get a motor box with servos, and there's 3 wires to it. One lifts it off the ground. The other will wag it side to side. And you can purchase these online. I mean, there's some different places. Just be cautious of what you do. Research the people that are selling them, and some are remote control where you can have somebody else following you around with like a airplane remote control and wagging it. Others are automatic. They'll sense your movement, whether you're walking right or left, or if you're standing in place, they'll just sit there and wag. But if you walk, it's gonna go alternate back and forth behind you, so it looks real. I mean, It looks like a real tail.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, you've got some folks asking if they can see that Lukruk's head. Could you?
Absolutely.
So yeah, folks, definitely check out and share the Twitch stream. Also, while you're at it, go ahead. We've got quite a few views already today, but share this video to help Bruce out and get the word out there that he's out there, that he's taking commissions, and he's waiting to make some stuff for you. That is amazing. So is that all foam, or is that?
Yeah, it's 100% EVA foam. Can you see that there? And this one, you don't actually see through the eyes. You actually see through the nostrils and the mouth. You see that?
Yeah.
The eyes being on the sides like a reptilian. And that's actually behind that. I put some plastic and then airbrushed it. And let's see if I can get a close shot of it in the light. And it's been airbrushed, so it appears to be an eye.
Yeah.
And then it's got an epoxy cover on it.
Nice.
So, but yeah, this one is about 8 hours of airbrush time. And I have another teacher that's been teaching me airbrush that he helped me out with kind of how I wanted to get this design so I can make this look more like bone. And his name's Bruce Rozier. Love his first name. Yeah. But he's another one that's kind of an airbrush teacher that's inspired me to learn more about the craft. So, and these costumes, like this headpiece, is just I don't think it's but maybe 10 ounces. It's just light, really light. That's one of the things I like about the EVA foams. And this is all done in almost, it's actually layers of 2 millimeter foam, thinner layers. But there's several, if you can see the details that I've added on here, these are several layers of foam. And all of these scales are individual pieces.
Nice. That was all put together with barge cement?
Yes, barge cement is my cement of choice. It's probably the best bonding for the EVA foam. You just have to really protect yourself. Don't get in a small room with a lot of barge. One of the problems I've had in some of my classes is when I go to a con, they'll put me in a small room with 35 students, and we're using barge cements, and the room fills up with fume really, really quick.
Yeah.
So I do use latex cements also, which I found at a local leather shop had latex cement.
Okay.
The only thing is latex cement is not as quick. It doesn't bond as well. But when you're doing like the shields for the flat piece, let me grab that shield.
Okay. We're getting the scroll down there at the bottom. That is John's way of telling us. We've got just a couple of minutes left. What you got there with the shield?
Okay, with this shield, I put a Luan backing on it to give it a good surface. And my students know I put Luan on the back, then I'll cover that in leather. Of course, this one just being a wall hanging, I didn't do that. But I put this on with the latex cement because I could lay it flat. So it's another product.
So people can order those shields from you, though, right?
Actually, they can, and they can order either a finished shield or a shield kit. My shield kits will come with an instruction manual of how to put it together. It'll come with straps. It'll come with everything that you need to complete it, except for the bar cement and the paints. It'll even come with leather.
Nice. Well, that's absolutely fantastic. Well, Bruce, thank you so much for giving us your time and wisdom today. It has been absolutely an honor watching your work, sir. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me, and hopefully we get to meet in person someday.
I'm sure we will. We will make it a point to. Well, folks, I do want to point your attention down to the bottom of the screen with that little banner going on down there. Tuesday night here at PCKC, just tune in to Planet Comicon's Facebook page. The upcoming stream is with JP Roth and Don Mateg, talking comics with Chris Jackin and William Benderup from Elite Comics. Man, that'll be a fantastic conversation to be a part of. Next Sunday at 2 o'clock, check out Casey Renee Cosplay. We'll be back here once again. The secret lair here behind me will be changed just a little bit more, and we'll get more and more. I'm really looking forward to Casey Renee and a lot of her things going on. Of course, at the next Planet Comic-Con, she will be one of our judges. Bruce, this has just been fantastic. We want to thank you. We want to thank U.S. Toy, Costume, and Magic Shop for hosting us, Planet Comic-Con for hosting us, all of our sponsors. Make sure, everyone, that you go to Bruce's Twitch TV, share and like this video, and we will see you Tuesday here on the interwebs. Thank you very kindly. Everyone, be safe in the meantime. We'll see you soon.
Thank you all.
Sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo 11.